Live on a snowy and cold Thursday morning in Northeast Ohio. Welcome on into the Animal House. I'm Adam the Bull. He's Dustin Fox. And we are brought to you, of course, by Bet Rivers. And right now, Bet Rivers players who place a same-game parlay of at least $10 on NFL or NCAA football games will receive an entry into the weekly Squares game. There it is. Winning Squares can earn up to a $50 bonus bet per entry. See the Bet Rivers app or website for more details. The snow pounding us here in Northeast Ohio today. And we'll dig out and get ready for some football. And, Dustin, we begin with the big news out of New York. Not unexpected, but according to ESPN, it says, while contract numbers are still being finalized, John Harbaugh is ready to accept the Giants' head coaching job, and the team is expected to hire him as soon as possible. That, according to Adam Schefter. Diana Rossini followed up with this. Former Ravens OC Todd Monken is expected to join Harbaugh in New York with the Giants per source. This has always been the plan. Monken, somebody the Browns interviewed. Harbaugh, somebody that the Browns were interested in, of course. But both those guys, and certainly more importantly, John Harbaugh, now off the table. It's reportedly a 5-year, $100 million contract for John Harbaugh. Your thoughts?
Wow. I mean, I guess I'm a little surprised just because, like, no one's really had success in that New York market outside of Tom
recently.
Coughlin.
I mean, the Giants certainly have had their success over the years.
Tom Coughlin was good there.
Yeah. And Bill Parcells.
All right, fine. We're going to go
back.
But
the Jets, no.
Years.
I mean, the Jets haven't won anything since 1969.
The point is, it's a huge, like, risk versus reward to take that job because you're in a great market, you're in a huge market, which means if you have success, you're praised, but if you don't, then all of a sudden you're Pat Shurmur. You know what I mean? And you don't want to be that guy. And Harbaugh's 18 years in Baltimore, Super Bowl champion coach, legacy's already been established, Hall of Fame coaching career, that whole thing. But man, it would stink for him to go out kind of on a whimper if you don't turn things around for the Giants. And listen, they probably will. He's a hell of a coach. They've got a pretty good quarterback, I think, in Jackson Dart, who I think can be a franchise type of guy. And, he's a little bit immature. I think the Harbaugh will really kind of kick his ass a little bit into gear. And so that's probably a good pairing. But, I mean, honestly, I'm just a little bummed for the Browns because they didn't get an opportunity to even talk to the guy.
Yeah. In the end, I don't know if anybody else besides the Giants got a chance, really. I mean, it had always been assumed. I know Ian O'Connor, who covers, he's like the national NFL guy for The Athletic, based out of New York.
Yep.
He's been covering. He has a relationship with John Harbaugh, and he's kind of been hinting all along that this was kind of a done deal. You mentioned Jackson Dart. Obviously, John Harbaugh thinks Jackson Dart is good.
Of course he does.
Because you're not taking that job if you don't think Jackson Dart is a potential franchise quarterback. Like, he obviously, I was going to say he obviously likes him more than Cam Ward, but it might not, he might think they're about even, but he likes the Giants organization better. That's certainly a possibility, and maybe he'd rather work in New York than in Tennessee. I don't know. But clearly, if he thought Jackson Dart was a bum, he's not taking that Giants job. So he likes him, and that's it. And Jackson Dart played well as a rookie. He had, I think, at least 2 concussions. So obviously that's a concern, and that's something that they're going to have to work on with him in terms of, the funny thing is, like, obviously Harbaugh's used to the running quarterback in Lamar Jackson, but Lamar Jackson has had some injuries, and he had injuries this year, but he's considering how much Lamar Jackson typically runs, not this year. He hasn't been injured very often, and I can't remember him having a concussion. Doesn't mean he hasn't. Right. I just don't remember it. Like, Lamar Jackson is expertise. One of the many things he's great at is not taking a lot of massive hits, and that's something that Jackson Dart really needs to improve on, and I'm sure that's something that John Harbaugh is going to have to work on with him.
Yeah, I mean, he took so many hits as a rookie, and I remember watching one of his games this year, and Troy Aikman's like, "Yeah, this is not going to last."
Yeah, you can't.
I mean, he can do this as a rookie because he's just, full of piss and vinegar. But man, all of a sudden, you're 3-4 years in the league, 17, 18 games, preseason training. Like, you just can't do that, man. Like, you got to take care of your body. Otherwise, you're just a selfish teammate because you're not going to be available in December and January when it matters.
Right. That's a good point. And so that's kudos to the Giants for getting it done. And now I think, we're at January 15th, and until today, and I don't know if it's going to officially happen today, we'll see, there's been no coaches hired. Like, this is later in the process. Usually we have some coaches hired by now, but the Harbaugh situation was holding up everything because no other team wanted to make a decision until Harbaugh made a decision. And you could say, well, now maybe Tomlin's going to hold it up. My guess is, Dustin, and obviously you know him personally, not that, you have the answer for sure, but you might have a better feel for what he's thinking. But it just seems like Mike Tomlin's not going to coach this year. Right?
No, and maybe not ever, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a possibility.
I could just see Tomlin. We kind of talked about this a little bit yesterday on UCSS. He's kind of a legend now in Pittsburgh. And for all those fans, and I know a ton of Pittsburgh fans, played tennis with one last night. And they wanted him out of there. But I think that now that he's gone, and maybe give it a year, he's going to be considered because now you have to deal with the guy. Like, you're taking your frustrations out on the team not having postseason success on Tomlin. Okay, he leaves. Next guy's going to come in with the biggest shoes to fill. Well, the guy they're gonna hate the next guy because unless he all of a sudden gets them back to the Super Bowls, it's going to take some time. Well, then they're going to be like kind of for a little bit missing Tomlin. So I think he's in a good spot, man. Like, people are going to look back on his time in Pittsburgh so fondly, and probably regret that they ever had hard feelings for him to not be there anymore. You know what I mean? Like, that's where I'm at with him, and he's just such a great personality that if you put him on television, you let him, kind of do the Joe Thomas tour, dude.
Yeah.
You're the legend in that city. You don't go coach anybody else. And then you just ride off in the sunset. You have fun. You got a zillion dollars in the bank, and you hang out with your kids and your wife. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, no. I mean, that would be a smart move. He'd be great on TV. He's got a great personality. I mean, like, Bill Cowher's pretty good on TV, and he wasn't known for having a good personality when he coached. Yeah. Mike Tomlin,
this TV
is
thing,
legendary for that.
Listen, when you're doing the studio thing like once a week, if that's what he decides to do, it's such a cushy job. I mean, it's you travel, on Friday, and you're back Sunday night. You know what I mean, for the weekend, and it's just it's easy. You love it. You stay in the game. You're still talking to coaches. Yeah, and you don't feel like you're just sitting on the couch being a bum.
And you know what? Every network, like now
pay whatever,
right? Like now it's not just like CBS, ESPN, and Fox. Now it's Netflix. Now it's Peacock. Now, like, you got all these different entities, Amazon, that are carrying football. They're all gonna want Mike Tomlin. Why would he jump into another job with a team that stinks right now? It doesn't make any sense. Can you imagine
if you threw him on like the Amazon Thursday Night Crew?
Yeah, right. Like
they're okay.
Yeah,
but put someone. They're all a bunch of players.
Yeah.
Former players, which is fine. And
it's solid.
But the best thing College Game Day ever did was add Nick Saban. I mean, brings a sense of like, okay, these guys are having fun. They played ball, whatever, and all of a sudden, coach talks, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna listen to this guy.
And well, in Saban's case too, like, there's people like me that can't stand him, so you want to watch it to get angry at him.
You can't still dislike him.
I just find him irritating. I hate when he complains about the system because like he took advantage of the system more than anybody.
Dude, everyone takes advantage of the system.
I know, but that's the point. Listen, as I always say in our business too, if everybody likes you, it's a problem. You want some people to like you and some people to hate you. That causes conversation, and that's what you want. So that's what. Now, Mike Tomlin,
hate's a strong word when we're talking about a football coach.
Dislike, but irritated by it.
I promise you this much. I know you very well. I can read you like a book a little bit, not like a book, but you know what I'm saying. I know you pretty well. If I introduced you to Nick Saban and we had
I'd probably like him.
90 minutes together at a dinner, you would be a Nick Saban fan forever.
All right, you're probably right.
It's very similar to like you've met Tress and obviously other coaches along the way. And then when you spend some time with these guys personally, man, it's a different deal.
I like Pat Shermer when I met him personally.
Well, yeah, Pat's a great guy, great coach, just not a great head coach.
Right, exactly. Or never in the right spot. Who knows? Whatever it is.
Be.
But Mike Tomlin, nobody hates Mike Tomlin. Like, we're Browns fans. I'm a Bengals fan. I hate the Steelers, but I don't hate Mike Tomlin. Anyway, I think he's going to be highly successful whatever he does, and I would assume if he wants. I guess the only thing that would stop him from being in the media is himself, that he wouldn't want to do it for whatever reason. But yeah, so if Harbaugh's to the Giants, and if we assume Tomlin, I'm sure every team with an opening has reached out to Tomlin, so the teams know if he would consider something. First of all, you'd have to make a trade, so you'd have to give up the Steelers. You'd have to give up a lot. But for the Browns, obviously, Mike Tomlin's certainly not in the conversation. I think now for the Browns and the other 8 teams still looking for, or the other 7 teams besides the Browns, now that the Giants have a coach looking for a job, I think now you're going to start to see some dominoes come off the board, especially after this weekend when we get down to the final 4 teams by Monday. I think next week you'll see, by the middle of next week, you'll see 3-4 teams at least have a new coach.
Can you fill me in? Because I'm not on social media as much as most people these days. There was a video going around last night. I think Schrager posted it. It was the guy from the Jaguars, the OC. What's his name? Sorry to put you on the spot.
I didn't see this. I don't know who he is.
It's just yes.
Oh, Udinski. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That guy.
It's just a video of him talking ball.
Yeah.
And
everyone's losing their mind.
Comes off very well.
Yeah.
And anytime these young, bright coaches talk about football in a way that impresses people.
Yeah.
It's like talking to like an astrophysicist, and they would make me feel like I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, oh my God, this guy, he could tell me about anything. I'd be blown away. Well, that's what these coaches can do. And then these fans start to romanticize over these young coaches because of one video clip they saw on social media.
It's insane.
And maybe he's an awesome coach and going to be a great coach. I have no idea. I'll give him a chance. I know that much, but I'm not saying hire the guy because of I saw a couple clips.
Yeah, that's crazy. And there's a lot of fans in Cleveland that are now becoming obsessed with this guy, the same guy they never heard of before a week. Nobody ever heard of this guy before a week ago. Not a single fan in Cleveland that's talking about him, never heard of him.
Couldn't pick him out of a crowd of one.
Again, the odds that Jimmy Haslam is the guy that finds the next genius coach after he's only been higher than an assistant position coach for 1 year, I think is a long shot. And again, that's no knock at this guy at all. Like you said, he might, if the Browns hire him, of course I'm going to give him a shot. He maybe he is the next great thing. Who knows? But when you play in the odds here, I'm not going to bet on a guy who's been a 2-year assistant quarterback coach and a 1-year OC not calling plays at 30 years old being the best choice. I think that's a long shot. So we'll
I
see.
agree. I agree.
I think in the end they're not going to hire him. I know everybody's hot and bothered with him right now, as you said. I didn't see this video you're talking about, but I don't know, man. It just seems like that's a real dart throw. And if it pans out, great. Jimmy can start turning around his reputation. That'd be great. But and like I said, I think no matter who they hire, you and I said this, and we've said this consistently, whoever they hire, I'm not going to kill them for it. Even if I think it's crazy to hire a guy this young and this inexperienced, I think it's crazy. I think it's especially in this situation where the Browns need to really change the culture. I mean, at 30 years old, I mean, I think about you. I think about me at 30 years old. I think about you at 30 years old. You didn't know me at 30 years old. Like, think about how much you change and how much you learn and experience between 30 and 40 in your career. And
dude, I'm like a different person today than I was at 30. Obviously, you know me. You've known me since I was like 28 or something.
Yeah.
29. And yeah, you change a ton.
Yeah. And it's just like, I think about, and I understand it's a different business, but like when I was 30, I was kind of at the same point, like I was at the same level of experience as Grant Udinski in his career. And I think about then versus 10 years later. Now, obviously for me, it's now at this point, it's 20 years later. But still, like, there was so much I was ready for at 30 and so much more that I was ready for at 40. And to expect a 30-year-old with this little experience to be a leader of men. I mean,
it's hard.
I just find that hard to believe. But we'll see.
It might be fine, and it may work out.
Yeah.
I don't have great faith in it.
Yeah. Browns are going to interview him on Saturday. We'll see. They've already interviewed 6 different head coaches or potential head coaches. The Mike McDaniel and Jim Schwartz are the 2 head coach candidates that obviously have head coaching experience. I know there was an article on ESPN where Dan Graziano was predicting where he thought, who would end up being the head coach for all the teams that are looking for a head coach right now. And his prediction was that Mike McDaniel would be the next head coach of the Browns. And I don't know, man. I just feel like Mike McDaniel is like in the same vein as Kevin Stefanski. It almost feels like if you hire Mike McDaniel, well, why'd you fire Kevin Stefanski? I feel like they're cut from the same cloth in a way. I know McDaniel's different in terms of personality, but neither one you think of as like, even who did we have on the show yesterday? Joe Thomas. Joe Thomas, who played for him
for a season. He was a receivers coach.
He said he's not that culture builder type of coach. Very smart, good coach. He wasn't insulting the guy, but
to be fair, he said, "I'm not sure if he's the culture guy." He didn't say he's not.
Right. That's true.
I mean, listen, McDaniel is not an outgoing personality. He's not. Nobody would say that's his strength or that's what he is or who he is. I don't think that he's like that at all. But I like his story a lot, and I like his offenses. I've watched him coach a ton, and the Tua's been a bit of a disaster at times, most of the time. But their offense is fun. They score a lot of points, and they have the talent, to do it. Yeah. And I think Joe made that point too, is the Browns don't have that necessarily that speed to be able to take advantage of the
there's no Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, obviously Devin Achane doesn't get a lot of hype because he plays for the Dolphins, but he's as good as any back in the league. This guy's electric. So, I mean, we don't have those kind of players. Obviously, Judkins is a good player, but
the other thing too, is like, Mike McDaniel has had to deal with a lot of personalities, man. And if you're not, the type of guy that can deal with that, that's hard. Tyreek Hill's not easy to deal with. Tua clearly appears that he's a bit of a diva that I never thought he was. You know what I mean? There's just like a lot going on that he had to deal with there in Miami. And yet they still won a bunch of games. And I think, didn't they finish the year 5-2?
I know they played better down the stretch. I don't know what they finished in the last 7 games. I'll take a look here. They finished for the season. They finished 7-10, and let's see. They won. No, they finished 5-3.
Okay.
They had won after the Browns game. They won 5 of their next 6, but then they lost 3 of their last 4 after that.
Yeah. Oh, they essentially like knocked the Bucs out of the playoffs.
Yeah. Yes, they did. Let's see where they were in terms of they scored. They were not a great offensive team this year. They were middle of the pack in the AFC in terms of points scored. But so we'll see. I mean,
and by the way, they're winning those games at the end of the year with Quinn Ewers.
Yeah, it's not like they had a good quarterback situation there. All right, let's get some fan comments on the conversation we've had so far. Sammy Hill, of course, before with the Bull and Fox emojis. We love that. Sammy also says, went to Delmonico's on New Year's Eve for the first time after hearing your ads for many years.
Love it.
Lobster bisque. My drunk buddy yelled, quote, "It's Delmonico's, baby," about 5 times. His drunk buddy after all these years.
What's funny about that, about, those spots or whatever, is that like We haven't been on the air together since it's been 3 years.
On the radio?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been
Yeah, and we haven't done the spot.
Almost 4 years.
Do they still use your tagline at the end of the commercials or not?
I don't know.
Or I don't even know if they advertise. It doesn't matter.
I don't think
it's
so.
the best local marketing campaign in the history of marketing campaigns.
Oh, it has to be.
Because I'm telling you right now, in 10 years from now, in the year of 2036, when people are still going to Delmonico's and people work at Delmonico's and people come in and they say, yell Delmonico's, baby.
Yeah.
There's going to be some busboy in the background. What the hell are these people talking about?
You're right.
You know,
I still when I obviously, we run into people that recognize us all the time, especially now that I'm on TV and, but
you're all hoity-toity on TV.
Oh yeah. Fancy schmancy. But, I have people yell Delmonico's baby at me all the time, as much as anything. And people remember all that, they remember a lot of the crazy shit more than the sports talk a lot of times.
Yes, they do. They do.
Which we love. It's always funny. Let's see. Scott says Udinski talking like Bill Walsh in his YouTube video explaining offense. Oh, boy.
Yeah, I sent you the clip, by the way. I put it in our little bullpen
all right.
group thread.
I'm going to check that out. David, let's see. Nicole Dart didn't play well. Him, Cam, Tyler, and Shador played like rookies. Okay. Sandra, let's get the young kid Udinski at 30 years old, coached 6 years for such a young age. Sammy Hill, Tomlin never had a losing season. That will age well with fans and historians. Yes, that is true. Z says, time for a third host. Bring Tomlin to the bullpen. Hey, I don't think we have the budget to pay Mike Tomlin, but we
do not.
We'd be happy to have him at
Love to have
our
him,
budget. Mike. Yeah. Let's see. Mazeroff says, highly disliked Tomlin since his attempted tripping. I remember that.
Against the Ravens Thursday Night Football.
Yeah.
It was like a punt return. I think it might have been Jacoby Jones who was returning it.
That sounds right. Good memory.
He was wearing, I have a photographic memory, and he was wearing like that Letterman coat.
Yeah.
And I think he might have had the sunglasses on at night, and he stepped on the field while the punt return was happening. And I don't remember if it was completely intentional. It probably was.
That was crazy.
It was.
That was like a crazy moment. Who knows what the hell happened there.
Yeah.
Jay says 9 coach openings just shows how little all these people who get paid millions actually know. It is crazy. It's almost becoming like the NBA now. I mean, there's only 6 of the 32 coaches that have been with their team more than 3 years. That's crazy.
I mean, it kind of is what it is.
Yeah. Let's see. Michael says McDaniel would be a disaster. Sonia says hire Schwartz as head coach, but only if Tomlin declines. I think in a perfect world, you get another head coach and Schwartz, and that guy wants Schwartz to stay as the DC. Again, I hate the idea of Schwartz being forced on a coach, but I love the idea of the coach wanting Schwartz to be the DC. Unless, of course, it's a defensive coach, and then you got to move on. And Schwartz is not going to want to stay anyway if it's a defensive coach that they hire. And they shouldn't rule out defensive coach possibilities because of Schwartz.
I can't see Jim Schwartz coming here or staying here with another coach.
Even if it's an offensive guy, you think he's going to be insulted?
Unless it's somebody he knows.
Right.
You know, I don't know. Unless, I mean, could you see like Udinski coming here and being like, Jim, I'm young.
Yeah.
Dude, I need your help.
Well, that was kind of like when McVay took over and you had Wade Phillips.
Yeah, true.
You know, that's what happened there. Yes, I'm surprised the Browns haven't requested an interview with yet.
Who's that?
Jeff Hafley.
I mean, he was at Ohio State for a little while. BC.
He's got a great reputation. I know he'd be a first-time head coach. He's 46 years.
Been a head coach in college.
Yeah, he was a head coach. Where was he? Oh, Boston College. Right. He was at Ohio State before that, as you said. He worked here in Cleveland with defensive backs in 14-15. Tyvis knows him. Tyvis played for him. Were you there when Tyvis was talking about him? I can't remember.
I can't either.
But he was like very high on Jeff Hafley because he was like, Tyvus said he was the one coach he felt like that always told him the truth. He's like,
and that's rare in this business.
Right. He's like, he wouldn't be afraid. And then Tyvus told the story about how, Tyvus didn't play a ton when he was, especially when he was in San Francisco, and and Jeff Hafley was his DB coach, and Tyvus had a really good week of practice, and Jeff Hafley said, all right, you're going to play this week. And at the time, he was on the practice squad. He wasn't even on the roster. He's like, you're going to play this week. And Tyvus was like, he wasn't buying that he was actually going to play because he's like, Hafley's the DB coach. How's he going to, make sure I'm going to play? Apparently, Hafley, punched the table for him or whatever. He was on the roster for that game, and he played. And apparently, he's like a no-nonsense, straight shooter. I think we need more of that. I think I always thought and again, you played at a high level, and I think I know you well enough to know that, like, if the coach is coming from the right place, if his place is, I care about you, I want you to be your best, then I don't mind criticism. I don't mind, telling me what I do wrong. Tell me, if you're coming from a good place, you can criticize me all you want.
Oh yeah.
If I think I think you're doing it to help me, to get me better, to get the team better, and I think most athletes would feel that way.
Yeah, it takes a little time to build that trust with the player.
Sure. Yeah.
But when you do, and as a player, you can really buy into a coach that you just really feel like he's trying to help you and has your best interests in mind. Yeah, there's nothing greater than that, especially like in this business too, when I can get constructive criticism from my bosses about the job that I'm doing or areas that I can improve, and I can take it to heart and not be, so in my feelings about because of my ego, if I can get that out of the way. Yeah, dude, it's great. That's how you improve in life.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's wrap it up with a little Cavs talk. The Cavs do win in Philly. And but the big news for the game though is that Darius Garland got hurt. He left the game. Obviously, we'll wait and see. What.
In other news, water's wet.
Yeah, you know what? It's sad that you have to say that because it's true. Guy is so injury prone. So we'll wait for the update on what's happening with Darius Garland. But nice win, but not good news. It seems like it's been one injury after the next for the Cavaliers here lately.
No, it has been, and it's unfortunate because the team can't stay healthy. They can't, and they win last night. That was a nice road win for them, especially with Embiid back playing. But yeah, dude, I don't know. Kind of have like this feeling towards the Cavs of just wake me up when it's April.
They feel very blah about the Cavs.
And look, man, I don't have any expectations. They're not winning a title this year.
No.
Like, I would be shocked if the Cavaliers were in the finals this year.
Shocked. Agreed.
Shocked.
Yeah.
They played so much better last year. They were healthier last year. Not the end. But, still couldn't get out of the second round.
Yeah. Right. I mean, even if they got to the Eastern Conference Finals, and I know the East is much weaker than the West, but so you never know. But
OKC comes to town Monday.
Yeah. That hopefully all the good players will play. So Darius Garland,
it's MLK Day.
What, Garland?
Oh, Garland, I don't know.
Oh yeah, you're talking about the best.
I think you're talking about
SGA,
like OKC, their best players.
Yeah, that's true. So Darius Garland, we know that he's been recovering from this toe surgery he had in June. This was a foot injury as well. Now, I guess the good news is that it's a different foot, or I don't know if that's good news or bad news. I guess it's good news because he didn't injure the same toe. In June, he had surgery on his left big toe. Last night, he left the game when he hurt his right foot diving for the ball. He missed the rest of the game. I don't know. We'll see what his status is going forward here and how serious this is. We'll find out, but it's not good, you know.
No, it's not good. And listen, you need Darius Garland because we can't score. We need guys that can score buckets.
Yeah, no doubt about it. The Cavs, as you said, they'll next play. Well, they play the Sixers tomorrow night. Is their next game. And then on Monday, as you said, they play Oklahoma City at home. Their next 3 games are on national TV. If you're interested in such things, tomorrow they're on ESPN. On Monday, they're at 2:30 in the afternoon. They're on NBC and Peacock. And then next Wednesday at Charlotte, they're on ESPN also. Peacock does a great job.
The Peacock and Amazon have done a phenomenal job this year.
Yeah, I know it's a pain in the ass for people.
It's not anymore.
Well, for some people, and not everybody has every streaming service. I get it. It's a lot of, if you want to have every streaming service, it costs a good amount of money. But I think it's raised the game of the coverage. I think it's better because the traditional networks have to step up their game. And I think NBC always in the past, when I was a kid, into my 20s, always did a great job covering the NBA, and they're doing a great job again.
It just makes you really wish you had that sort of coverage up from your local teams.
Yeah, wow.
I mean, because here's the thing. They do have pre and post game stuff, like local markets.
Yeah.
They're just, most of them are useless.
Oh yeah.
It's just
because
it's
just a
vehicle
to play commercials. That's
it's the same stuff. At least with the Amazon and Peacock stuff, you got some dudes on there and girls that know the game really well, and they I learn things. You know what I mean? I love it when I can watch something on TV, and I sit there and I learn something. I watched the game on Sunday, a playoff game that Tom Brady was doing, and he did this breakdown about the ball and the wind, and I was watching it live. It went viral, but when I saw it live, my son was there next to me. I said, "Son," I said, "sit down. We're gonna watch it." It was we stopped what we were doing because we were gonna be educated, and that was cool. And as someone who played pro football, there's still so much I can learn, and I didn't play pro basketball, so I'm still ever evolving in my knowledge of the game of basketball and tennis and all these other sports, baseball obviously too.
Yeah, no doubt about it. The coverage is better and better, and that was fascinating for Brady, the way he showed with your hand and holding the ball. And
by the way, he has improved tremendously this year.
Yeah, he sucked his first year, and he's
and most people would too.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like an impossible job to be thrown into.
Yeah,
and be good off the rip.
I feel like Tony Romo's the opposite. He was good his first year, and he's gone downhill. Brady's great. Greg Olson is fantastic.
He's great.
Who's his play-by-play guy? I'm drawing a blank.
His play-by-play guy now is Joe Davis.
They do a really nice job. Joe Davis has grown on me. I thought he was very kind of blah when I first heard him, just kind of generic. But he's kind of grown on me.
He's grown on me too, and I think he's gotten better.
Yeah,
because he's done the World Series now.
Yeah.
So this guy's done the biggest events, and all of a sudden now you see this guy, you hear him. I always thought he was like a Joe Buck wannabe.
Yeah,
they have similar cadence.
Yeah, they do.
And honestly, he probably just grew up watching Joe Buck, and that's how people develop, your cadence and how you talk or whatever. It doesn't matter, but he's good, really good.
Well, listen. Another member of the Bet Rivers Network, Mike Francesa in New York, longtime sports broadcaster. If you meet any young, or it doesn't at this point not young, if you meet anybody who does sports talk in New York between the age of 30 and 50, they've been influenced by Mike or Mike and the Mad Dog.
For sure.
So that, you're going to be influenced by the guys who do it before you. But we've got so many good broadcasts. I love Ian Eagle. I mean, he's my favorite. Kevin Burkhart's amazing. Our guy, Adam Amin. Our other guy, John Fanta. John is a hot commodity right now. I love it. I love that he's with NBC now. He's doing a great job.
He just does a different deal. And he's so authentic and genuine.
Yeah.
That his likability factor is off the charts.
Yeah, and John's doing a cool thing. I don't want to spill the beans because I don't know if he's announced.
Yeah, I don't know
yet.
if that's out there.
Yeah, so I'm not going to give any details. But John's doing a really cool thing this summer in Northeast Ohio that I'm going to be involved with, and others are going to be. Are you going to be there or?
I got to double check.
We'll figure it out.
See what's going on.
Anyway, it's going to be a real cool thing. We'll talk about it with him at some point. But Yeah. Did you speak to Adam Amin at all?
I mean, we're friends. I mean, like if I was in Chicago and I'd text him. We're buddies, but I haven't talked
Love
to him
him.
probably like 2 years.
And I'm drawing a blank. What's his name? Who's also a great young broad. Well, not young, but youngish.
That we know?
No, we don't know. I don't know him. I don't think you know him either.
Noah Eagle?
Well, Noah Eagle's doing a nice job. Like people want to obviously accuse of the nepotism, but Noah's really good. He's really good.
I mean, he's not his dad.
No, of course not. How could he be?
He's really good.
Yeah. No, I'm thinking of what's his name?
Battle.
The guy that was doing the White Sox games. Now I think he does the Tigers.
Benetti.
Benetti. Yeah, I couldn't think of his name for a second. He's awesome. Great baseball.
You know what's funny is he's good at baseball. Well, he's just a really great announcer.
Yeah.
His partner in football is RG3, which is not my cup of tea, but whatever. He's a good, I probably watched Benetti. I think they did like 5 BYU games this year.
Yeah.
And when I had BYU, I went back to watch it, and I'm like watching Benetti every game in RG3. Anyway,
I'll tell you another. Oh, go ahead. You in the middle?
The last thing on Benetti.
Yeah. Go ahead.
He is also the voice of, I think it's their Thursday night coverage on Westwood One. And when I'm out driving, I hear him a ton on the radio. Dude, he's really good in the radio.
He's excellent at everything he does, but I love him particularly on baseball. I'll tell you 2 other guys that are really good analysts that don't get a lot of hype. One's our guy, Ross Tucker. He's he does a lot of radio. He does some TV.
Yeah, he's not a traditional analyst on TV. Right. That's why I like him. He just
love him.
He entertains too.
Yes. And I'll tell you somebody else who's really good. I don't think it's been that long since he retired. Logan Ryan. I don't know if you've heard him much.
I heard him on
he did a Browns game
last weekend or 2 weekends ago.
I like him a lot. I think he's an up-and-comer with a lot of talent. So we'll see. But anyway, that's going to do it for today.
I'm going to go snow blow the driveway.
There you go. Have fun. I think I'm going to get to do it for the first time today. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Thanks to Z and Alex for producing today. Thanks to all of you for listening, watching. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. We'll be back together on Tuesday next week. Zach Jackson will be on with me tomorrow. We'll see if we have any updates on the coaching search. Until then, we'll talk to you next time. Where else? But right here in the bullpen with Bull and Fox. See you, everybody.